Oh. 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 Prayatnat yatamanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishaha. The one who's striving is the one who's purifying at all levels. The mind, the intellect, the ego. We tend to externalize this sense of purifying and being impure. I'll share a narration from Swami Chinmayananda's life to show how personal this is. Once, someone in great anguish had gone to Puja Swami Chinmayananda and said, Gurudev, save me. And this person, Puja Swami Chinmayananda said, save you from what? And he said, I've done this and this and this, and I'm going to go to hell. And Puja Swami Chinmayananda said, relax, you're not going anywhere. You're already in hell. It's not some immediate place. It is an immediate experience. What we can use from this line is, sin is dependence. Whatever we depend on, that's an expression of having forgotten our nature, forgotten that we are joy. That's why we depend. So the more we live our lives in an independent way, that's purity. We have notions of washing our hands and achamanam and breathing and wearing fresh clothes and all of that, and that's important. But the direct way to know your nature is to become independent. And this is shared in the next line. Aneka janma samsiddhaha tato yati param gatim. When one lives like this, lifetime after lifetime, we're personalizing this. When one lives like this, day after day, or for us, morning after morning, for 652 mornings, this integration will lead to independence. The fulfillment of integration is independence. We are integrating ourselves. Dharma to Brahma. This quarter, Aneka Janma Samsiddhaha, Shri Shiva shares the same sentiment with Devi Parvati. This is in Guru Gita. He shares, Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine. It is through many lifetimes that one has faith in a guide. And then that guide is able to burn up all sense of dependence. So a lot of uniformity between Guru Gita and Bhagavad Gita. We continue. Shri Krishna right now is leaving some final inspiring thoughts for Prince Arjuna. He's encouraging him that the efforts you're putting in, they are not worldly efforts. Verse 46. Tapasvibhyo diko yogi jnanibhyopi matodikaha karmi bhyaschadiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A comparison is given here. Yogi is the contemplator, okay? The one who's trying to experience yukta. Tapasvibhyaha adikaha. The one who's contemplating is greater than a tapasvi. In your commentary, what would be written is an ascetic. The implication of this tapasvi, this ascetic, is someone who is withdrawn. And now they've conserved all of this energy and enthusiasm, but they're not directing it within. In other words, that's a form of suppression. So they have withdrawn, but they're not directing that within. And I'm referencing here, at the end of chapter 5, Shri Krishna says, one has to engage in tapa and yajna. Tapa is that withdrawing, but yajna is that directing. The yajna is missing here. So the contemplator, superior to the tapasvi. And jnanibhyaha api mataha adikaha. Who's stating this? Shri Krishna. He uses the word mataha. In my analysis, in my mind, the yogi is superior to the jnani, the one who's trying to know. In your commentary, those who have knowledge. But the implication here is these jnanis believe in what they know, but they don't have faith in what they know. They believe, but they don't have faith. With faith, you follow. With faith, you change. As an example, I've shared this many times. Most of us believe in God. Most of us don't have faith in God. What is the gauge? Fear. If you have faith in God, how can you be afraid then? How can you have fear? Those are antonyms. If I have faith that Shri Krishna is looking at me, which means he's looking after me, then how can Vivek feel fear? So when we use such comparisons about tapasvis, jnanis, please don't externalize that these are people in our Puranas, in our history and so on. We live like this. And the third comparison that's shared here is karmibhyaha adikaha yogi. And the yogi, the contemplator, is superior to the one who's acting, the people of action, the karmis. They are those who are directing themselves, but they don't know why they're directing themselves. They're doing, but what is the purpose of that doing? In our 100 Steps to Infinity class last night, we had a very unique discussion subject. I had asked everyone, if you could follow any engagement, that means profession, career, vocation, and so on. If you can follow any right now, what would it be and why? What and why? And many shared they'd like to be park rangers. They'd like to be teachers. I feel like that was the number one vocation. They wanted to be teachers to help the next generation to focus on values. And then I asked them all, what do you think my follow-up question is going to be? Why aren't we doing it then? And so when I say Shri Krishna here is specifying karmis, they're doing without knowing or doing without purpose. I feel so much of that applies to us. If you feel being a park ranger is important, if you feel teaching the next generation is important, then why aren't you doing it? Karmis. Tasmat. We love the word tasmat. It's like an orientation of our study of Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat yogi. The yogi that is superior to the one who is suppressing, the one who's faithless, the one who's busy. Bhava. You remember I told you, bhava, roga means the disease of becoming. But here Shri Krishna is using bhava. Become that yogi that is being. Arjuna, all of us, we've been together for almost 7 weeks now, just in dhyana yoga. Be a yogi. Be a contemplator. No position in your life, in my life, is superior to being a yogi. Not a parent, not a grandparent, not a supervisor, not a CEO, not a contributor. It is a yogi. Shri Krishna is not saying be a warrior, correct? He's saying be a yogi. This chapter is flowed through purification. Purification relates to our experiences. Then preparation. That relates to our equipment. Then personalization. That is the one and only practice of contemplation which relates to the ego. And when all of this is united and practicing, there is perfection. That is me rediscovering existence. This chapter is obviously titled Dhyana Yoga. Yesterday I gave you a different name also. Abhyasa Yoga. It also has one more name, which is Atma Samyoga Yoga. Samyoga means to unite fully with Atma. Through preparation, through purification, preparation, personalization. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Be. Be your nature. Be the nature of life. Your nature and the nature of life are one. You are life. The nature of living involves movement, change, effort. The nature of life is existence. The foundation upon which there is movement, change, effort. The nature of life is awareness. The foundation for knowing movement, change, effort. The nature of life is joy. The foundation for all that we do, and that we will not rest until we are resting in this foundation. Be life. Life does not get tired. Life does not get sick. Life does not die. Being tired, being sick, dying. This all relates to living. This is all relative. Becoming. Be life. Life is perfect. Life is absolute. You are life. Being is most natural, for this is your nature. Be. Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.